yo, welcome back. I'm Shiko.
I'm Nyam.
And I'm Gavani.
And this is Okay.
Okay. We are.
Kiasi.
Kiasi.
Make me
He.
bamba.
He.
This is Choir B. This week we have Choir B. Choir A is
Men
I don't
down.
know,
Choir A
maybe
is
out on
down.
tour. It's down.
Yeah, they're going to be backup singers for Elaine.
They're going to be backup singers. Anyway, how have you guys been? How was your week? How are we living? How are we feeling? Are we breathing? We are.
Yum. Let's
We
go.
are. We are. I'm good. My week was super. I had one of the projects that I'm working on was coming to a close this week. So the event or the final event was being held in Ghana and I was joining online, but it started so late, like for our time. It was starting at 9 p.m. So I was up late on Thursday, but it was also so exciting to watch like all the people I had worked with on their pitches as they pitched. It was really exciting. Yeah, so on the work front, life is good, been consistent in the gym. I'm just really regretting my singlehood because this Nairobi weather is the ghetto. The ghetto!
Too cold.
Stuffing
God
season.
damn. Hey,
Wow.
I need a baby.
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather. God damn.
It's body weather. Sweaters are not enough.
Hey, let me tell you, I was legitimately considering how I can bring 2 or 3 other single people together that we develop some product that is a hot water bottle in the shape of a body. Because
Oh,
damn.
thanks for finishing that sentence. I was like 2 or 3 single people for.
No, Kavani,
Oh
I was like, are
those
you
are your
starting a
stories.
commune?
No. I think we have some R&D. We can put together a product, a hot water bottle that's like an arm and a leg, like body size, but it doesn't get too hot and that it stays warm, like temperate for the whole night.
And I'm
And
in a
I
leg.
think my
Yani a blow up doll.
basically hata
But
nimekubali
you're
hata
not
kama
brewing
ni
it up,
hivyo,
you're just
but
putting
a
hot water.
warm. Yeah, I'm just
A warm
putting
one.
it's
Yani
Isn't
you
it
know,
just
like how we
the
used to have water
it
same
beds.
needs.
electric
It's a water
blanket,
doll.
like as a human form?
We need to get Nyam one of those heated blankets. Do you have one, Nyam?
She doesn't.
Heated blanket? Never?
She doesn't have
She
one.
doesn't
No,
have.
no,
We have to
I
get her
don't.
one. I've always wondered how those work. Do you like plug them in first, or like is that electricity? Like my
Yeah,
mind can't let me sleep knowing that I have something plugged in on top of me.
Are you afraid to
yeah.
be
Well, I don't.
electrocuted?
No, I'm afraid to be lit on fire. I didn't even
You
think
guys
on
are
that step.
She
crazy.
said, burn it up.
Literally, burn it up.
Ooh, you're too
Oh,
funny. Yeah, too
Say
funny.
what you want.
But I
Oh,
have
we can't sing
used I
that
have
song.
used an electric blanket
oh, that's Nani.
in
It's the
SA.
guy. It's Kells.
We can't. We can't.
Damn. Sorry, Nyam. You've used what?
It's okay.
Sorry, we were listening.
We were listening.
Nonsense. You're just here promoting a pedophile instead of listening to me. Shut up your faces. Anyway, I was saying I've used
Oh
a
yeah.
heated blanket before in a winter somewhere, but I also
A
had the
winter
same
wear?
fears. Kevin, must I disclose everything on the podcast?
It's the fact that she has said a winter somewhere. I'm like, oh, story. Story
Story
come.
She
come.
used it.
No,
She used
I've used
it.
the blanket.
Imagine
Just trust
wapi
me.
hata by you asking kwani I have to say everything. I've known exactly what it is.
Anyway, let
Anyway,
me tell you about my week.
let's go.
Tell us.
So, it was 4th of July week. So, I don't know, I called it a weekend week. But 4th of
Because it's
July
a
was on
weekend on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Exactly. And I had already said last week that I have family coming into town. Christian's aunt and uncle were coming. They're so fun. So we went to wine country in Georgia, and we went and spent the day up there, going to different vineyards, drinking wine, which was fun. And then we just spent a lot of time playing games. They're gamers, as in card games and board games and stuff, which is always super fun. And then 4th of July, honestly, like we were so tired by the time the 4th actually came. Um, I think we just them they went out for breakfast. I had some editing and stuff to do, so I didn't go out for breakfast with them. We came back and just chilled in the house. We dropped them off at the airport because they were leaving on the 4th, and we just sat and chilled and did nothing with the
Wow.
day.
No
Yeah.
fireworks,
No fireworks, no
no hot
nothing. I think
dogs.
You didn't go
nothing.
and try
No
to go to the field
grilling,
over there
What's it
to
called?
look
nothing.
at
But
the
it's
fireworks?
also been so hot. Like Christian was telling me, like Monday and was it Monday and Thursday or something like that were the hottest days in the world, um, since in the last 1,000 years. I don't know how they measure that,
Wow.
but apparently it's been the hottest days of the world. They need to give that heat to Nairobi. I don't know how the
I
heat
was
really
Hey,
just
come to
about
fam.
to
you.
say, please, can some
We
of
Yeah,
it
need
just
some
trickle in?
distribution.
exactly.
They've
So
little
that was
suffered.
pretty much it. Been consistent in the gym too. Been having a good time with that. I went to the pool, I think, twice this week.
Nice.
Just chilling, enjoying the summer weather. It's been good. It's
That's
been good.
cool.
Gathani, what's up?
So fun. I'm just tired as usual. This week I hit 80 on my deadlift. I'm meant to do 85 this week. I don't know how I feel about that.
Woohoo!
I'm just
Good for
like,
85
you.
kgs.
I did 80 kgs last week. Um, so
That's
now
a
I'm just
lot.
like, it's wild.
Nice.
But I always tell people I'm just practicing so that when someone's son brings me some bullshit, I can throw him out. So I think it's on brand. And then I'm
You
still
shouldn't
planning the
only
gym
think
for
of the negative, Gadoni. Not only like throwing him, maybe you can pick him up in love.
That's what I
they
was
want to
thinking.
do that.
Yeah,
When
not just throwing him away. Maybe you want to pick him to, I don't know.
that TikTok of
He's
Gadoni,
the
is
one
that
who's meant
reel
to
that
pick
we
me.
posted where she was doing like a snatch or something and she just like throws in the air.
Yeah.
That's how when I was like literally making that I was envisioning inaitwa?
Eh,
It's okay.
envisioning.
You got this. You got this. You got this.
envisioning
Uh-huh.
envisioning her throwing a man.
Amen.
Whoosh,
I'm
just
so
like
glad.
that.
Yes,
But
because
throw
that's
him
the
in
energy.
love, not because he has done something bad. No,
I
you
also
can
told you
toss
there's a
him.
thing I had put on my
In
story.
love.
It's like
Yeah.
that thing for you when he's kneeling and you throw him on the bed for, excuse me, it's time. So you throw him and it's just like, hey, hey, relax, relax. Also, but the point is throwing. I don't know why you people are stressing. I'll
It's
try and
because you
find it.
said if
That's why I shared it
someone's
in the
son
stories.
disturbs you, then you can throw him. That's why I was like, that's a
Yeah.
negative point of view. You can throw him also then to show him your power and it's seeming like this
This
is a
BDSM
BDSM vibe.
stuff.
I'm telling you.
Yam is here pretending. The way she was asked by someone if
Yeah,
she
me
can buy
saying
her a
throw
whip
them
and she
with
was like, no.
love.
It's okay. I'll make the order. Just send me the list. I'm ready to do
I
it
don't
for you.
want.
Me, I am
Actually,
ready. I will risk my life for you.
I posted how I'm doing BDSM training and someone sent me a link to lingerie. Shout out to that podcast listener.
You're too young.
She said you have the moves, you just need the gear, man.
Whoa. Whoa.
Wild. But yeah, so I'm still planning a magazine launch. I feel like I'm entering a busy time at work, but I also need a break. So it's really confusing how I'm like, I was telling someone earlier, I feel like I want to take a break, but I can't figure out when to do it so that when I come back, I don't feel overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Because the work will
Hmm.
just be waiting for me. So I'm trying to figure out that basically. Um, yeah, I think that is what's happened in my life. It's mad exciting. It's exhausting. And my baby is still so cute.
I haven't seen him today.
He's
Is he
here. He's
around?
so tired. Yeah, the problem is he spent his day humping a babe. So he's a little exhausted. Um, he has
He
really
spent
tried to hump
all
her.
his energy.
Only problem is, for those of you who are listening, he was trying to hump a German Shepherd. So the most he can do, okay, because my son is a short king, bless him, he can just reach her leg, okay, her leg, like when he's on tippy tip toes, the tippiest of the toe, like yeah. He's really just so, and then she's so big, and so he'd grabbed, like I have a video of him, he'd grabbed her leg, and she's just walking normally, and he's just doing like a rushed, like how if you have ever been kicked out of a club by a bouncer and they hold your neck up and you're trying to come back.
Emily, how do you know this? How do you know this?
So again, it's a story I was having with someone this past week where we were talking about guys who've been thrown out
Oh
of clubs, and I was like,
my
it's never happened to me. Then they were like, me, there's a day I got drunk and I told the bouncer, who do you think you are? And they held me up, and just enough so that my toes were on the ground and I had to catch up, otherwise I fall. So that's the image that came in my head when I was seeing Oscar
When you
being
see
dragged by
Ozzy.
Mishi, because like he's really trying to hold her. It's that thing for he thinks he's held her, and her she's just walking normally, and him is like behind her. Anyway, if you wanna see the madness, I'll post it on his Instagram at Side Eye Pop Gang.
There we go. Gang
Nice.
gang.
All right, let's get to the wheel then. You ready?
I need to do my nails this week, but honestly, like
At our
I
record,
just
spin,
don't
spin,
feel
spin,
like it.
spin me, yeah. You have to spin, 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 spin me,
I
yeah.
know.
Spin, 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 spin me, yeah. Hey, hey.
I'm gonna try
Whoa.
and do a different color than I typically do because I'm a babe of pink nails. Every single time
You
I do
really
my
are a babe
nails,
of
they're
pink nails.
pink.
In the same
But
way, Nyam is a
I
babe of
really,
pastels.
yeah, she has her pastels. But I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone.
You can
We'll
do
Do
this.
see.
white like me, and then do your color on top, your pink lines, like that.
Um,
You're white, babe. Haven't you done white before?
I never. I did white once, and it was even Yam looked at me and said, "This one, I don't even know what you are doing because it just
But you
didn't
have
look like me."
the
And that
green.
was the
Don't you have the
time.
dark
That was the
green?
time I had gone to a new person, and on top of
Even the
them
it
being
was the shape
white,
of the
they
nail.
were square too.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
It was just
But you have
not
that
you.
green of yours.
But it
Oh
still
No,
yeah, but
has.
then
We have to take out of her comfort zone.
hold on.
Guys,
I'm trying to. If you have that green, don't you have a goldy type thing?
oh,
The
green and
metallic.
gold.
So you can do like this with the green and gold.
That's too much work. You're telling me
It's
to
not
draw
too much work.
lines.
It's not. That's just lines like this. You don't have to do.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
because you
doodling.
did yours yourself.
No, but
You
genuinely,
just went to the salon.
it's just
guys,
they don't have. There's none that looks alike. That's the point. So
yeah, we landed on bookworm, but I feel like we did this like an episode ago.
you have
Yeah.
to roll
So
again.
I wanted to say,
Spin,
can I
spin,
spin
spin,
again?
spin me, yeah.
Spin
Spin, spin,
again.
spin, spin me, yeah. Spin, 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 spin me, yeah. Me, yeah. Me, yeah. Me, yeah. Put it on, put
Honey,
it
your
on,
wheel
put it
changed colors.
Sweya. All right, guys. Finally, we have landed on screenplay. Shiko, you can start us off. You're always the one with the
screenplay.
vibes.
With the summaries. I'm going through a drought. I'm going through a
Wow.
dry season on shows. I don't know if it's the networks or the um Netflixes of this world or if it's me, but there just hasn't been good TV out. Everything
Mm,
is just boring and I'm not liking it. I'm not feeling it.
okay.
There's a new season of The Bachelorette out. I'm not going to watch it even though it's like a black lady. It just feels like every time The Bachelor does like a black host or a black main character,
Yeah.
I'm just like not here for it because the way they do it is in a very, how do I say? a
It's like their
very
token black person.
exactly token black person kind of thing. They
Mm.
really play that race card. It doesn't feel organic.
Mm.
Um, Housewives are boring. Atlanta is going on right now. There really is no much drama that I'm interested in
I
because
saw
like
Nini
all
saying
the
that she can come back for the fans.
maybe that means she's going to come back next season because quite honestly since she left there's really not much drama going on. There's no excitement. She brought the drama even though she was very annoying. And also
Mm.
Portia is also gone. She's gone to marry her rich Nigerian husband, so there's not really much drama because she's gone. It just
Mm.
feels like the drama is just not there. It's just not hitting right.
Mm.
Selling Sunset was very lackluster, I would say. It's just getting too repetitive. The same stuff is happening over and over. Am I going to watch the new season? Probably. Because, you know, it's just one
In
of
a
those
drought, you
shows that
cannot
is
pick the
like,
food that you're having.
yeah, exactly. Beggars cannot be choosers.
Yeah. If
So
the UN
we're
brings
just
you a
going
bad
to
show,
yes. But then there also is this show that I've been watching, really good put together one. It's by Max. Um Undercover, I wanted to say it's called.
Mm.
Very deep show. Um One of those shows that you can only watch like one episode and then chill or whatever it is. Like honestly, I think I'm only on episode 5 or 6 just because of how heavy the content is. It's this
Yeah.
38-year-old mother who goes undercover as a teenager on online dating websites and stuff like
Mm.
that. And the whole point is to catch people who might try to get girls
pedophiles,
for
basically.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
People who would be chatting 15-year-olds online or um, sex offenders or all these weird pedophiles on the internet. Um,
I
really
feel like I've
dark,
seen
but
clips
really
of
deep
it.
and very good.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen clips of it on TikTok, and every time I'm just like, this is as much as I can handle. This clip here is it.
Yeah. But
Mm.
it's very important work she's doing, and it's just so sad. Me and Christian sit there, watch it, and we're just kind of like, oh my gosh, the lengths these men also go to hide their identity because obviously they know what they're doing is wrong. Like,
Mm.
if you have to be a really fucked up person to go to the lengths that they do in order to do what they do. But hey, anyway, that's my drought.
Wow. Eh,
Wow, what are
that's
times?
intense.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you know me, you know I'm obsessed with the on stages, Kevin Melissa, and I pay for Kevin Stage Studios, the app that they have for shows. And Melissa has a new show called Honey Do List, where she's getting like two couples. It's like a game show of sorts. And so that's what I'm watching currently because I finished watching The Mentalist and my life was just empty. And so I'm watching The Honey-Do List by Mrs. Kevin Stage, Melissa Fredericks. It's really fun. It's also, I think, I like, it feels like a YouTube show, but it's well done also. But it's the non-perfection of the show, where it's not like TV perfect. It's like the ad comes here, you have to say the right thing. It feels more like a show you'd watch, when you want to talk through what's happening. I don't know. It just feels like a friendly show. Like if your friend was to have a show, that's what it feels like. Anyway, because I think I'm friends with them. I guess maybe that's why I feel that way. But I really like it. Also the couples are very like chill, funny. I'm on, I think, the first set of couples, and like they're asking questions like, when was the first time you had sex in public? And I was just like, oh, is that what we're doing here? Anyway, it was on a highway for those who want to know. And here we are. Yeah, and they were outside their cars. This those things where sometimes where you look at a couple and they look like such prim and proper people, then a question's asked and you're just like, huh? You really don't know nobody. You can little judge a book by its cover, and the cover is it's like if someone puts brown wrapping paper on, like, what do you call that thing? 50 Shades of Grey. You know what I mean? So you see the brown paper and you're like, wow. And you open and you're like, oh, Nyam, is that you with your BDSM? Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm
Wow.
watching.
Oh,
Nyam.
Okay. That's cool. I've also not been having so much time to watch stuff. And so when I do, I feel like hey, Corona.
Corona
this
says,
girl lives
hey,
her own life.
Corona
Korosh.
Jim,
said
have
hi
you seen? It's
podcast.
like praise and worship
She
She
said,
said
we
hallelujah.
lift our hands in the
in this
sanctuary.
sanctuary.
We
Uh-huh.
lift. She actually waved.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Yes.
so yeah, when I'm not really feeling like watching stuff, then I go to like something that's a single episode and it's over. So I've been watching Blacklist. I think honestly watched maybe 3 episodes over the last 2 weeks. Like even stopping after 10 minutes, then I pause and I move on. So that's what I guess I've been watching. I've been wanting to watch the Joyride podcast did like a split. They've opened up their brand where they have like a men only show and they have a girls only show. So I think they've dropped an episode of each. I still haven't gotten to watch that. But the other show that I regularly watch or had watched last season that's back is The Bear. Season 2 is out. I just feel like it's a very intense show, so I want to create the time to watch it. Like I don't think it's one of those that I can watch 15 minutes at a time. So but it's a good show. So yeah, that's my
dope.
next watch.
That's awesome.
Well, Blacklist.
Should we get
Great.
into it?
Let's get into it.
We're talking friendship this week. We hope you guys enjoy it.
We're super excited about today's episode. We're going to be talking about friendships, but not just any kind of friendships, female friendships. So, um, let me ask you guys. So, how have your experiences in life so far shaped your understanding of female friendships? I'm assuming, it goes without saying that all of us have female friends. Yeah. Um,
Something like that.
right. So
Assumption
how
much?
better to state it. That's why I was like, I'm just, let's be clear. But how have your experiences shaped your understanding of, or rather, maybe what's your understanding of female friendships, and where do you think you get that from?
For me, my understanding of female friendships was always that they're very complicated and that women bring the drama. Um, like if I'm being very honest, um, I was never like put in a situation. I feel like it would be different for you guys because you guys were in boarding school or whatever it is. You had a lot of women around you, but I always went to co-ed schools, and I was always more of a tomboy kind of girl. So I like had a lot of guy friends, and I still had female friendships, but majority of my friends were guys growing up. And I also like the cousins that were around my age were also boys. So I felt like that's just kind of the people that I was around more. But yeah, female friendships were always iffy for me. I think now that I'm older, like I have like really good female friendships and some that have lasted years and years, even from like high school to primary to all that stuff. I still have friends from then to now. But I guess for me, that certain vulnerability that was needed for female friendships also, I was not ready for.
Aha.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you
Not
feel that female
vulnerability.
friendships need vulnerability.
100% to make them successful.
Mm, okay.
I get that.
That's interesting. Gadani, how about
Yeah.
you? How have your experiences shaped your
Um,
understanding of female friendships? I feel like I'm like Shiko in that um even though I went to a school that was just babes, I don't know that I made friends there because my concept of female friendships then was still they are the drama. And it's possibly because when I was younger, I think I had friends who were the drama. So I had good friends who are female, but I feel like I didn't get the drama when I was in like the co-ed school. So in primary school, the drama was less from the guys. So it was watching women. I guess maybe because of how we grew up, I always felt more comfortable around the guys. Um, but it was watching sometimes from a distance how female friendships could be so mean that I feel like I kind of just didn't want to be a part of that. And so in my brain, and it doesn't help that like TV would perpetuate that women can't be friends because we had to be frenemies or someone was always trying to get the other. So I feel like that, in addition to what I was seeing happening, made it feel like you can't be friends with babes. And then now I get to high school, and again, there's just like a lot of oh bullying, oh this or that. So I feel like in high school I made friends, but like even in high school, I think I hung out with Nyam more than anything. And then I had friends. So there's like two people maybe who I could still consider like legitimately friends, like friends I got from high school, who are like still people I'd call now or hang out with now. But I don't feel like she was mentioning, I don't know that I was in that space. I feel like my female friendships have actually happened in my 30s, and it's not just female friendships, it's the non-drama of female friendships. I feel like the truth, you know, an ideal female friend, the people who you're told women can be supportive, those people, I've only found them in my 30s, which is also for me a great misconception on what friendship looks like, because a lot of times when you're growing up, you're told you can't make friends in your 30s, you can't make friends when you're older, you should make friends when you're younger. And my legitimate, honest, I can call you at midnight and you rock up female friends I've met in my like 29, 30s over there. Like they're not earlier than that. Well, apart from the two that I earlier mentioned. But like, I feel like true friendships where it's not like drama, like I could have a girl's trip without mess, that kind of thing. I feel like those outside of like church, I feel like in church also you get like one, two, you can pick, that kind of thing. Um, at some point after in high school, after high school, there's like my three best friends ish, those people who like now we've hung out and been friends forever, so they don't even count as friends. I feel like also because a lot of the times when I was hanging out with them, it was like through their brothers first, you know what I mean? So even then, I guess my male friendships have given me some really good female friendships, but like the ones I chose myself and like I can call and hang out and sit for coffee with have been in my 30s. Some are like my friends' wives. Some are their friends who have been introduced to. So it's like, it's now exciting for me. Before, a girl's trip felt like a scary concept. Now I'm like, oh my God, this would be so much fun, that kind of thing. And no
You know
drama
what?
trip.
When you were talking, it made me think. I think we were raised around people older than us, so we've always like had more. We've always been the more mature ones of our age group, and that's can apply to also female friendships because there was a lot of cattiness that I feel like none of us ever wanted to be involved in. So there was just that we'll just hang out with the guys anyway because on Sundays we grew up going to basketball with our dad. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
That's how we spent our free time with the
yeah.
guys.
That's actually a really valid point. That's the thing I was gonna say. Like, I think some of those experiences are what shaped my understanding of female friendships is that their work, whereas friendships with guys, like I got this feeling like, like if I don't call you, it's a problem. If we don't speak for a certain amount of time, it's dramatic. And because the nature of the relationships we observed, whether because of hanging out with boys or doing boy activities or being raised by a father, it seemed like it's just simpler and easier to be friends with boys. There's less judgment, there's less expectation, so you're not failing at the thing. Um, and for me, I was always like, why must friendship also be a failure? Now, in my adulthood, I also understand now intentionality, and maybe even what Chico was talking about in terms of the importance of vulnerability in a friendship. And I think that cuts across anyway, not just female friendships. Like if you're gonna make a
Yeah.
connection, you have to be open and trust the other person as well. But those were some of the things I just felt like they were exhausting. It felt like work to me. So that was one of the things that I felt early in my experience, that I had to be really intentional. But the thing is, sometimes the intentionality was more for the other friend, not for me. Like, it would have been okay for me not to holler. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I know that
yeah.
it's important for them to hear from me. So I'm going to make the effort to do so. But what I've realized also in my current female friendships is that the ones that have lasted over a longer period of time are the ones that give me space to not communicate for years and still be okay. Like, it is not a reflection, and years is an exaggeration, but that understanding that we're okay regardless. And maybe that takes that initial work ahead of time. Um, but the people I feel safest also talking to about the things I'm like struggling with or whatever are the people who I know are not judging me based on how often we have communicated or how life has been. But like Gathoni, I also found that I made a lot of close female friendships later in life. I mean, like, there's some people I really find that I've connected with so deeply, more than people I've known for so long. And some of it is maybe based on shared experiences we have. um some of it is just because we flow, and I think maybe me being open to it, I think I made a lot of really close deep relationships through even previous relationships, so where the relationship has ended but the female friendship has transcended, it has moved
The
past,
intro.
yeah, the introducer.
But do you also feel like that's because, like, that's the stage in your life where you had come into your own? So you're not like with people who knew you through different phases of life. They're not judging you through, like, oh, this is how she used to be in primary, this is how she used to be, she's changed, blah blah blah. Like, obviously we've all changed, but like now you've come into your own, so the people that you're meeting in this phase of life are the for lifers, if you
Yeah,
will.
it could be that part of it is, yeah, I'm more confident in who I am now. But I that's a great question, actually. So I think, yes, in part that could be it. But I feel like I also was a bit more open. I had learned that female friendships don't have to be complicated. And I think it's drawing boundaries. It's knowing that it can, if this one can reach up to here, then this one can reach up to here. I think the confidence in knowing that it doesn't always have to be the same maybe is what made me either open up more, or and sometimes I think it's also the character of the people, because I think I pick good friends. There's some people who you will meet, and no matter how open you are in that season of being more approachable or like in a good space, you just don't click. You know what I mean? And then there are some others who yeah, it could be just you open up to them about one experience you've had, and you, I don't know if it's trauma bonding, but like you suddenly see you are able to identify one another's worldviews based on that. Yeah,
I
so
think also sometimes, sorry, Nyam,
go ahead.
the season that you're both in determines the friendship. So there's some people who I knew earlier in life that I wasn't friends with earlier in life that I've become friends with now in my 30s, who are legitimately my friends. But then when I was young, it was either we didn't click or we just didn't get along or there was just a thing. And then now it's like, oh, wait, I mean, like, we're actually cool, and I feel like sometimes there's a growth each of you has to go through to get to a level. Because, like, sometimes you meet someone and be like, or a female dog, she's so bitchy. And then maybe it's a
Oh
trauma
my
bonding or
gosh.
something happens. And then you sit down and you're actually just like, huh, you're not that bad. And you get to the point where you're able to be like, when I met you, actually, I thought you were quite a female dog. It's like, oh my God, same sis, but you're on vacation together and like living your best
God
life.
damn it. Speaking of female dogs, this one has just shooted in my face.
Oh, wait, Corona.
Ay, Corona.
Wait.
Ay, yeah, 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 yeah.
Because I've been around your
I'm
child, I
so
can smell
God.
it
sorry.
from here where I am,
And
and I
she was
sympathize.
sleeping on my feet, so I feel like it just
Hot
came
air
direct up to my
rises.
nostrils.
Into one nostril.
Lord.
Oh,
Dang.
I'm so
Oh, God.
sorry.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, sorry, Gathani.
So
No, it's
actually,
fine.
let me ask you guys then, what do you think are some challenges you've faced in navigating female friendships? Like and I think some of them you've shared, but like, are there some specific, have you broken up with friends?
I for sure have, but one of the things that is a factor for me is distance, because like I feel like I've had so many stages in my life, from like under 18 all the way till like finishing high school, being in Kenya, having those friendships, and then moving to Florida for college and having all those friendships. And then typically, like, people go back to their hometowns or whatever it is from college around here, or many of them stayed in Florida. Um, but then now I've come to Atlanta and I have a whole different set of friends. I almost feel like I'm set up for failure. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I have to work just that much harder
to
to
maintain.
maintain friendships,
Mm,
Mm.
because it's not like we can just be like, yo, let's grab a coffee, or like we're in even just like calling each other on the phone. I have to factor in, are we even in the same time zone?
mm,
How are we
Mm.
going to do that? When is it convenient for you versus me? It's not like just I can randomly at 5 o'clock be like, shoot my shot. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If they pick, they pick.
yeah.
That's so wild because for me it's like the complete opposite because my best friend for the longest time was halfway across the globe, and then we're both not like, how Nyam is like, you feel like you need to talk all the time. We're both the worst at communication. But when I tell you, it's just, I can't explain it. It's just like sometimes I remember these days I'd call her at 6 a.m. because like it's a Saturday and I'm just like, wait, I woke up at 6, so I just came from the club. Let me check what this woman's doing, but I haven't talked to you in 3 months. And then I remember there's a
Yeah.
birthday we talked for like 4 hours straight. But
Mm,
I feel like it helps when um there's no expectation in the friendship. There's no version that
Yeah.
you need me to show up as, because then I can call you after 4 months in tears and it won't be like, you haven't talked to me in 4 months, why are you crying on the phone? Or I don't have to
But
mm,
that
pretend.
can't be every friendship.
I know, and that's why I'm saying
mm,
it's very specific ones where there's some where it's like I can't shoot my shot because we're not in the same country. But at the same time, there's some where it's just like we're not even on the same continent and we won't be for the next 17 years. But guess what?
Yeah.
Legitimately, there are some things where I'd be like, I know if I call you, you'll get on a flight to come home. You know, there's
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
confidence in that friendship at that level. So
Mm.
I totally get you. I feel like you don't have to. My lesson has been understanding some friendships are seasonal. Because me, I'm a friend ghoster.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't break up because me, I'm asked about breakups. I ghost you. Where I'm just like, if I feel like I'm showing up for you and you're not showing up for me, let's just not show up for each other because I don't have time. I feel like friendship is so important. If you're not going to give me as much as I'm giving you, let's just stop immediately.
I
I
used to
don't
be
have
a
time.
ghoster, and then I think I developed. This is me thinking I'm more mature now. I'll just tell you, by the way, this is not working out.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Goodbye.
Okay.
Wow, I can't be a breakupper. I'm just like, oh,
You
blocked
just leave
number.
them on red.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, you're trying to reach me. What happened? I blocked your number. That's why you can't reach me.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I just
Wow.
need
Yam, how
it.
about you?
So I guess some of the I don't know that I have distinct challenges in. Okay, so some of the challenges I've faced in female friendships, I guess, is also not addressing when there's a fallout. Because sometimes I think that's what ends the friendship or makes the thing weird. Because now someone got hurt, and then maybe you're not aware what they were hurt about, or even if you think you're aware, now it becomes like the cold war, silence, waiting for someone to reach out to the other one, that kind of situation, and to be honest, I have a few female friendships that have transcended that, where we have been like, yo, I'm pissed off about XYZ, and it was like a big thing, like we didn't speak for several whatever's months, and we were able to have the conversation. And even I think of one friendship where it was like, I appreciate that you are hurt through this, I still would make the same decisions,
Oh,
and the other
For sure.
person be like,
For
yeah,
sure.
I hate how I felt about this thing, but even me, I would make the same decision. So then we agree to disagree, move past our heart, and be like, do we want to work the relationship? So I think one of the things, and I think my
Hey, that's a
next
next
my
level.
next
yeah. I'm
question was
like, I'm
actually going to be
such
like,
a
how
petty
do you
friend.
deal? Yeah, because my next question was going to be like, so how have you dealt with fallouts, so, or disagreements? Because that for me is usually the more challenging thing about female friendships, is like there's another weirdness, like we are, I don't know, like I'm not your boyfriend, just like let's have a conversation. Like everything, I hate when something feels like earth shattering, whatever, like we're not talking, but no one is saying anything. So that's one of the things I hate. But in terms of how I deal with fallout, nowadays I give it space. Number two, there are some people for whom I will want to have a conversation about it, and just let them know, okay, this is how I'm feeling, or this is how I was feeling. There are some situations where I've felt had. There are others where I've not felt had, but the next thing is to just act accordingly. So there are some people I will not allow into a certain sanctum of my life, because I also know that, okay, here I already know what you need is this level, and what I can appreciate from you is this level. And I think that's also okay to have different friends for different things, you know
Yeah.
yeah. So that's the
I
way I
think
deal with it.
for me, I look at fallout, like I've had very many friendship fallouts. And honestly, like, I feel like people are there sometimes for a reason and a season. And when your season is up, let's just move on.
Speak on it.
And like, I start to feel like if I have to watch what I have to say, like around you, I don't want you around. You know what I mean? And it's become like to where my circle is so small these days, like very, very small. And I don't even mind it because I'm like, I want to be the same person because I don't think I'm a bad person. So around every person in my life, I want to feel like I present myself the same. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like obviously, like in at work or whatever, there's a certain level of whatever, but you know what I mean, like with
Coexistence.
people outside of, exactly, people outside of the workplace, I just want to be myself. So if I feel anxious going to meet you, like what are we going to talk about, what has been going on in your life, blah blah blah, and it's not, I don't feel like conversation is going to flow organically, because me, that's another thing with my anxiety, like that meeting up with people and like not knowing what we're going to discuss or whatever. Like, are we going to plan it out? Like, have I asked you about your child? Are you in the same relationship? Do I have to do research before we go out? You know what I mean? Like, I can't. So if I can't show up as myself, I've started slowly, like, you'll be a network, not a friend.
Yeah.
We'll be good on LinkedIn.
Yeah, man.
Interesting.
Wow, not LinkedIn. Dang. At least Facebook, my guy. Wow.
And
Yeah, Facebook we don't delete.
yeah,
Don't
forever
save me,
friends.
please. Because I use birthdays to
Yeah.
delete people. But
Okay.
um, yeah,
So,
no,
and
it's
for you,
true because
Gadani,
on
how
Facebook, I've
have you
also
dealt
reached a
with?
space. Oh, I was saying I've reached a space where if I don't feel like I can tell you happy birthday, I'm unfriending you.
That is a good
Oh, okay. When
thing,
you
I'm
put it
like,
that
yeah,
actually.
way, that's a really good
if
measure.
I go on
But
Facebook and it's your birthday, and I'm not just like, oh my god, happy birthday. I'm like, why are you here? So there's a few
so,
people I'm
but
sure now who look
okay,
at Facebook
that's
and be like, they're not friends. But on fallouts, sorry, back to the topic. I don't know that I've had a fallout like that on my side. So it's the thing of, I feel like there's one thing I can think of where we stopped talking, but it wasn't a me thing. It was like she wrote a narrative in her head, decided on the narrative, and I was just like, I'm not going to convince you otherwise. Just Godspeed. Because it's one of those things where it's just like, the question I ask myself is, if you come back into my life, will it be good or bad? Like, do I feel like I have to put in effort? Like what Chico's saying, what version of me do I have to be? And that if I have to have a version, I don't have time for it. A lot of the friendships that have not fallen off or things like that, it's just, I feel like it was a season where we were really close and things like that, and we were hanging out in the same space. Maybe we worked in the same space, or we liked the same hobby, and so we were always together, and that formed the friendship. And once that thing was done, the friendship didn't survive it. But it's not like we've fallen out. It's like
mm,
if I just won't call and check on you every day, but if I met you, it wouldn't be like we're not friends. But I'm
mm,
Yeah.
starting to be more careful with the word friend as a word. I'm starting to be okay with acquaintanceship and associate. Where I feel like friends should hold a bit more weight, because there are people who,
mm,
if you're not going to show up for me or I don't feel the need to show up for you, then we're not friends. So let's not just be out there calling each other friends. And it's okay to be acquaintances. It's
mm,
okay. You could have been my friend for last season, this season. You're not in the first, second, or third circle. You're in the
mm,
like okay, but like we've not fallen out.
Konyuma.
Yeah, but it's not a
mm.
fallout necessarily. It's just
Yeah, we get,
we're
we
not doing
get.
life together.
All right. So, what I figured is I'm gonna read like some quotes or popular things that are said about female friendships, and then you guys can let me know based on your experience if it's true, false, or like what you think about it. Yeah. So,
Let's
Let's
go.
do it.
number one, female friendships don't last.
Fake.
Oh, that's tricky. You say
For me,
fake
it's fake
news.
news.
Gadani, let's hear from you. Fake news.
So a lot of my close friends now, I've had friends like there's one who I met when I was 13, 14 in high school. Like day one of high school, I met her there. We're still friends. There's yeah. My best friend and I have probably been friends going on 16, 17, some wild amount of time. Yes. So I have friends who have had
for a long time. The friendship has changed, has grown, but they've been there for a long time. So for me, in my experience, it's a falsehood. I got the girls that be rocking with me from the youth.
Okay, Shiko, you said
Yeah.
tricky.
I think they last, but for me, definitely my closest friendships are not the ones from Kitambo. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in my more recent times, like, I've like my close friends are the ones who like I wasn't close to. I've known them for a long time, but I wasn't close to when we were younger, and now we've like fallen into some kind of friendship. Or like I still have friends for back in the day, but they're not the ones in my close circle as of late.
Yeah, got you. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. I think they last. Sometimes, uh, what I would say is that they don't remain the same.
Mm.
Um,
Evolution.
so I've had
Mm,
some long female friendships that went deeper. I've had some
yeah.
where maybe they're not as deep as they were in the past.
Mm.
And I think that's just like a function of even life changes, seasons, all of that. But I believe
Yeah.
it's false in the sense that it can last, but I believe that it changes. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. The second quote or the second statement that I want to hear your thoughts on. Friendship between women is different than friendship with men. Okay, so this one was actually between men. It was friendship between women is different than friendship between men. But since none of us have been men, I don't know that we can answer
Yet.
on that
That
front
None of
in
us have
terms
question.
of
been
two and
men
front.
yet.
Two and true.
Yeah.
Gavani, not yet.
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa.
So Bruce.
You're a two and a front.
The so let's discuss it this way. A friendship between you and a woman is different than a friendship between you and a man.
100%.
True. Okay, tell.
I am and okay, but here it poses another question. Do you think men and women can be best
Yeah.
friends?
Yeah, me, I think they can.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Based on my experience, yes. I think it's actually
yeah. Even
legitimately
for me, based
possible
on
for
experience.
you to be platonic. You and Georgina, that's the word. Platonic friends with a guy without anything having happened ever. But I feel like the only reason I say that is because I think it's an evolution of the relationship where it went beyond a friendship into I almost see them as brothers. So it becomes almost incestuous. So it's
Mm,
Yeah.
not that we're not friends, it's that in my head, the thought of being with them is incest. It's like, ugh, you know. But on friendship,
yeah,
yeah, so they became
yeah,
brothers, but they're not actually, they're friends. You know what I mean? So I think it's the level of friendship you have. I don't know if a platonic friend where you're just friends can exist in that space, but I know you can have male best friends because I have them, but also because in my head they've stopped being friends.
Yeah, but I feel like the relationship changes when you're in a relationship.
Yes, there needs to be a
tell us more.
respect for the relationship,
Yeah.
but
You know what?
I feel like
I'll be okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
I feel like even in the change of relationship, it doesn't change your friendship. It's more if you're respectful of the person and their thing, I don't think you become a threat at any point to their person, based on my experiences. So
Yeah.
it doesn't
Mm.
affect the friendship. So what
So
happens is you get an extra friend if you didn't know the babe before.
yeah,
Mm.
so that's I think I would say in my experience, and this is also like a thing of, I would say it's a thing of maturity as well,
Mm.
or
Yeah,
time,
for sure.
because younger newlywed young nyam did not believe that you can just be friends. Or, and I don't know if it's like societal, church, just like things in your ear where you're like, there has to be a story. But I don't believe that anymore. I believe men and women can be friends, and they can be platonic friends, deep friends, best friends, whatever you want to call it. And I actually feel like it's so valuable for you to have a friend of the opposite sex, that and it's possible. I mean, because like you're saying, does that mean that your brother and your cousins, you're also just trying to sleep with them? No, you can also just have friends that are of the opposite sex. You know what I mean? So I even think it's valuable to your relationship for you to have those kinds of friends. But I think, like you're saying, in terms of when you enter a relationship, it also depends on the person you're with, how secure they are, how much they trust you, perhaps how much they trust the other person. I always say I thank God every day that with me having my closest, some of my, actually most of my closest friends be guys, I'm so grateful that the people they married were not the kind of babes who are like, you must break up with your female friend. You know what I
Amen.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, no,
Because I would
seriously.
have lost so many friends. And yet, their wives have now become
Your
some
friends.
of my closest
Mm-hmm.
friends. So I've
Mm-hmm.
found that my life is better enriched because I had guy friends, and they brought me
Female
more
friends.
girlfriends
Mm-hmm.
by marrying solid babes who are not threatened by
Your existence of
whatever
friendship.
existed between us before them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
Anyway, that's not my viewpoint. I just wanted to get a
hey,
reaction
you're
and
a
see
devil's
what
advocate.
because you guys know all my best friends in high school. I had a guy best
Yeah.
friend in college. I had a guy best
Yeah.
friend. Yeah,
But I don't know.
and they've also come to become Christians, really good friends too.
Yeah, but
Mm.
we haven't still addressed it in terms of the friendship being is your friendship, if you think about now your friendships with guys versus your friendships with girls, are they different?
Yeah, absolutely 100% different. And I feel like you just have to be more aware of like what you're doing and who you're surrounding yourself with or anything like that. Um like now I would maybe go for a coffee date with or a dinner something with one of my guy best friends, then go to the club. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
mm,
At this phase in my life, because that's just not appropriate, I feel, to do right now if it's just the two of us, as of going to like coffee or dinner, whatever it is, so it's just those little changes like that.
okay, interesting. Ladani?
Mm.
I I've been thinking about it. I don't think there's a difference for me on the level of the friends who become blood squad. The people who I consider family now, I feel like the friendships are similar, male or female. Um, I feel like it's different for acquaintanceship, how I would react with a male friendship and a female friendship. But for the people who are my people, like those guys who are saying, if I think of them, it just feels like incest. For them, and the female friends I have at that level as well, I feel like the friendships are similar because I trust them to have my best interests at all times, and I know they do. So it might be different in that I'll call one when it's a security issue because we're, men might be better to fight at that point. But then it's not that I won't call the babe for the same thing. So I don't know, when it's entered the level of we're not friends, we're family, I feel like it's similar. On acquaintanceship, because I still have to figure out, oh, does your girlfriend like me? Because I haven't gotten to the level of where friends and I know how to make her feel secure, or I know our relationship is not a threat, that thing. Then I'm more tippy toey around male friendships versus female friendships. As I get to know them, I'll be more aware on what could be misconstrued in the male friendship versus a female one. But
But do you also feel like that's because your male friendships came before the relationships.
Aha.
Like they've been there, they've been there
It's
for a
possible
long
because
time.
It's a factor.
it's true because like for me,
You
for
know?
for you to date me, you have to accept the men in my life, you know, because these are the people I go on holiday with.
But
These are the
Yeah.
people I do all of these things with. So it would be like when we're hanging out with my friends.
no, but what Chiko is saying is that one is a given because they predate the relationship.
Yeah.
It's that if you're in a
Yeah.
relationship now, would you get a new acquaintance, develop into friendship, you holiday with this person? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I think it would depend on the person because I feel like then my navigation of the friendship is with my person.
Okay.
That's
So
weird,
no, I
personally.
feel
That's
so like now,
freaking
Shiko, if you got a
weird.
guy friend now, because you see, by the time you're meeting him, your husband knows you have met. You know what I mean? So the development of the friendship will be with his awareness. So there's no way it will end up messing your relationship, I think, if your relationship is solid, because he would be able to communicate, I think, if there's a point in time the relationship feels off. It's like, I feel like this is going off, or I feel like he likes you. You know, that communication.
No, uh-uh. It's not even about feelings at that point. Like it's just how you relate to guys versus females. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if I made a guy friend right now, like they would never get to the point of best. You
Ah.
know, they would be it's there's no issue with having guy friends or meeting new guys in my life right now. Like that will happen professionally, socially, whatever it is. But to the point where now they're at that level where we're going on vacations and everything, if he doesn't have a partner, that's weird.
But if you're going on vacation with your partner, do you
Okay.
still feel like it's weird? And do you feel the same
100%. Why is
way?
he
Do you
there?
feel the same way for a female
Because
What
friendship?
you're
are we?
friends.
Yeah, I'm like, do you feel the same way for a female friendship now?
No.
Would you feel the same way that you can't get a female friendship now that could level up to best?
A friend, no. It's I feel different about it.
Oh
a hundred
wow, so
percent, I do.
interesting.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
feel like
a hundred
if I'm
percent.
making you,
I feel like there's
if
just
we're
a
making friends
difference.
when you're my person, then even how I navigate the friendship would be with consideration to you. Therefore, by the time we're becoming best, it would be our best friend. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be mine by myself because you have been a part of the growth. And if there's a point in time that it
But
makes you uncomfortable, you'd communicate it, I would hope, as my person.
so I would say I think that one really it depends also on your relationship and maybe what your values are towards your relationship and how you see it. So for me,
How do you feel, Nyam?
I've been uncomfortable in a relationship when someone who we didn't know or is new to the relationship became closer. So I think, and I don't know that it was the friendship that was problematic. It's that the things that you typically discuss with your partner are now being discussed with someone else. So sometimes for me, I think it's not so much a friendship situation, it's more a boundary situation. So if now we are three of us having the discussion about your finances, then I'll be like,
That's your partner's problem, not the
like,
friend.
okay, I
That's a
don't
Yeah.
know.
partnership problem.
I agree, Gadoni. It's also your. I agree that that is also a fact. That's why I'm saying it is heavily reliant on your relationship boundaries as well, how you hold your partner in esteem or whatever rules you have set for yourselves in how you navigate external relationships. Now, for me, I do feel that the friendships are different in terms of with a woman and a man, but I think it's purely based on expectation. Yeah, feel I don't feel the weight of expectation from guy friends. Like they're not coming into it expecting me to do anything. You know what I mean? They're not coming at it like, how come you didn't call me? Or that, like, if I don't show up for like their presentation, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. And maybe it's like a guy thing. This one I can't explain. I don't know if it's a male female type thing,
No, it
or
might be. Do you
it's
think
just
it
the type
might
of
be the
personality?
type of female friends you've gotten have given you trauma?
I don't think so. I don't think so because, and maybe, to be honest, as I'm thinking about it, it might even be my worldview that's skewed. It could be me who is also planting expectations on my female friends, if I'm honest. Yeah, as I think about it now, I'm just like, I don't know that there's any female friend who has also outrightly said that this is my expectation of you. And even the ones who have, then it's been very clear so that we are moving in, you know.
Yeah, in general, I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit because you do way more for your friends than they'll ever do for you.
Oh my gosh.
Is this the time?
It,
That is
well,
just the end all be all of this conversation, because you're one of those people who will always be there for all their children's birthday parties. You don't show up empty handed. You bring their whatever. If you haven't, you bring them a gift if you haven't already made their cake.
For free
You know what I
because
mean?
Auntie
You're there
Nice.
from beginning to end, and then thank you, Auntie Nice. That's what all they call her, Auntie Nice, because she really is. She's always there. She's always there. So even, and the thing is, like, it's also, yeah, it's also a downfall too, because like your friends now have that expectation of you, of like always showing up and always being there and everything, to where like now when they bring up, oh, you weren't here for this one event or whatever it is, like even them, they're spoiled,
I've
and
spoiled
it makes you
them.
Yeah,
feel
and
really
they're feeling some
bad.
type of
You've
way.
spoiled
And because you're a
them.
nice friend, you also don't tell them, I need you for this thing, because you're like, oh, but they're going through. No, if they're not giving you 100, give them 50 back. I'm like, let's play at the level you're at.
I don't know. I don't
If
imagine.
it's
Imagine,
25,
let's
it's
just be
25.
honest. I'll never be that
You have
person.
to become that person. We are going
No,
to
I'm
make it.
always gonna give a
Yeah, we know
hundred.
that.
Yeah,
We know that. She's
I'm
always
No,
gonna
always
give a
give a
100.
hundred.
But
I'm
you
going to
just
start
need
tying
to
you to your
also find
bed
those people
so
who give
that
a
you give
100
And
to
75
you.
by
I think
force.
I have. Anyway, all right. So I think I'm done with the quotes
We're clearly
also,
in our feelings.
but
Stop
we
it
did have
dismissing us.
one listener
Nyam's friends are
question.
all like, are they
Yes,
talking about
if you
me?
think
Are
we're
they
talking
talking
about you,
about
we
me?
are
Who
talking
is it?
about
Who
you.
is it?
If the shoe fits, Cinderella,
Don't be wild.
hello. Cinderella,
Ah,
is that your glass slipper?
kwenda uko Gathoni.
Keleni, don't be crazy. Anyway, so we did have, when we asked you guys like what are some questions or topics, ask us anything on our socials. There was one question that came in that I figured we can just throw into this discussion as well. Now, what happens when your friends and your sisters don't get along? And I think this one is especially important because the three of us are friends. So what happens in a situation where I have a friend and maybe you don't get along with them, or I have a fallout with a friend, uh, or not, I have like you and my friend fall out. Yeah, how would we navigate that?
Personally, I don't think that has ever happened where I've fallen out with your friends. I mean, I feel like I'm very clear. My sisters know. Like, based on my reactions and my facial expressions, they just know how to read me. So they know which friends of theirs I don't fuck with. And it's
Those friends
never,
also know that you don't fuck with
it's
them.
very accurate. Like, they'll know, period, because I'm very direct like that with my facial expressions. But like, I don't think we'll ever be at a point, or I have never personally experienced where I'm like, um my sisters always come first in my mind. You know what I mean? So I feel like we've been very good about, like, I'm also not going to sit here and be like, if you talk to this person ever again, blah blah blah. Like, that's not the level of petty we
Yeah,
are. But like, I think we've just always been mature about those kinds of
yeah,
things.
it's true. I agree. And I think also because we're friends, a lot of the times we found that we end up being friends with one another as good friends. Yeah, like Shiko is friends with my good friends. Like if we're in one another's lives, like they're concerned about the things that concern her, like they'll want to know what's happening in her life. Like, they
Rock up for
that
her like they'd
that
rock up for
sense
you.
of separation doesn't really count for me. Yeah. Yeah, so in the same way that Chiko is saying it's never happened, it's also that I don't know that it would happen where there's like a fallout. And it's true, like there's some friends where you're just like, I think your friend is dodgy, but at the same time, I don't know that I don't know that I've ever said to you guys like you need to break up with that friend. You know, I also believe in your capabilities or assessment of individuals. So even though I might not like your friend, I'll just be like, I mean, but I guess it's serving you for now and I trust your judgment. So, I mean, if it bites, I'll be here to dry your tears and give you a big fat I told you so. But it is what it is, you know. I don't know that it would be like,
Me, I'm
yeah, I
petty.
would
I'll
not
be like, I
advise you
don't
to
like your
dump
friend.
them.
I don't know why you're hanging out with them. I don't know why you're wasting your
Tell
time.
us.
I don't know why you're here. You deserve better. That's what I am like in the background. But when I'm looking at your friend, I'll be like, oh my God, hi, you're so cute. How have you been? Yeah. But in the background, I'm here telling them, do better. You need better friends. And for a fallout, if my sister stopped talking to you, hi, I don't need to know the reason. Listen to me. It doesn't matter. You are dead to me, okay? You died. You died. Like, I'll walk past you on the street without blinking. You'll be like, Gadoni. I say, Ghost, Casper, is that
Yeah,
you?
honestly.
I am the
That's on
queen of cutting
period.
people off. So please, fallout, don't, like Shikwa said, we haven't fallen out with anyone, but just know with a confidence, if we fall out with me, my sisters, you disappear, you cease to exist, you are a ghost. Because I ain't got time. And I don't need the reason. Listen, if my sisters tell me we're not talking to this babe, I'll be like, say less, block, remove number, delete, remove Instagram, Facebook. I don't need a reason. I don't need a reason.
It's the same with exes too. It's the same with exes. We're like, what are we doing? Are we
Yeah.
deleting?
It's
Are we
like you tell us.
blocking? Are
It's
we
like, are we allowed to
muting?
say hi to them?
Like,
Yeah.
are we saying hi if we
What
see
is the
them
procedure?
in
We come to the
exactly?
person and we are
But then
like,
that's a
tell
whole
us.
other episode.
Yeah. Come to the person, you're like,
For
Yeah,
how
real.
it
do we
really is.
For
proceed?
real.
But me, let me tell you,
Yeah.
if you mess with my sisters for free, okay, me, you're dead. You've disappeared. I don't care.
I feel like this season deserves another sisters episode, honestly, on how we deal with
For
certain
sure.
things.
Because
But
Yeah. So we'd love to hear from you guys. What are some myths maybe and also some popular quotes that you feel have guided or shaped how you view female friendships or even just friendships as a whole? And we would love to hear from you. Where can they reach us, Gadosh?
you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at OKKiasi. That's OKAYKIASI. Gang like a boss. If you don't want to be on social media, you can email us okkiasi@gmail.com. Woo!
hey, and if you're Picard here, we love
We
you. We
love you.
appreciate you. You are valued, and we really
Yeah,
respect.
you're our
the
friend.
Maybe acquaintance, let's be honest.
Don't
Maybe you're
fall
an
out with
acquaintance.
us. Let us not fall
Yeah.
out. As always, I'm Shigo.
I'm Nyam.
And I'm Gadani.
This has been OK Kiasi. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.